Let me rewind a few weeks to when I thought everything was fine. My name's Evan. I've been married to Claire for 7 years. We have a decent life, 2 dogs, no kids, lots of weekend brunches, and that shared smugness couples get after surviving a few ugly holidays with in-laws. She works as a freelance interior decorator, and I'm in insurance, stable, unexciting, and yes, I hate it most days. Claire had been on me for a while about trading in my old Mazda for something that doesn't sound like it's gasping for air every time it hits a hill. I wasn't offended, she wasn't wrong. I figured it was time. So we blocked off a Saturday for car shopping. Not my idea of fun, but marriage is all about compromise, right? We walked into the dealership around 11 a.m. Claire was instantly greeted by a guy with an offensively white smile and a blazer so tight I'm pretty sure he couldn't scratch his head without splitting a seam. His name was Travis, but of course it was. Looking for something reliable or something fun, he asked, with that slimy confidence that makes you feel like he's upselling your wife while undressing her with his eyes. Claire laughed a little too easily. I should have seen the signs. But hindsight's always smarter, always louder. He took us over to a shiny new crossover, leather seats, moonroof, the works. I was focused on the numbers, as always. I had him and the sales manager pinned down at a desk for over an hour hammering out financing, while Claire took a walk to get a coffee from the vending machine. Except, she was gone a while. Long enough that I texted her. You okay? No response. Another 10 minutes passed. Travis returned, but Claire didn't. She said she'd check out the other trim packages on the lot, he said, too casual. Something was off. I walked out to the lot. No Claire. I asked one of the other salesmen if they'd seen her, and he said he saw Travis and that lady heading into the service garage earlier. Service garage? I walked toward it, weaving through rows of spotless SUVs. The door to the garage was half closed, but I could hear the hum of an idling car echoing in the bay. And voices. Then laughter. Her laughter. I paused. My gut clenched, but I didn't move. Just listened. There was no mistaking it, the flirtation in her tone, the way she giggled like she was trying to be 22 again. Then the sound of movement. A car door creaking open. Then a soft moan. I didn't need to see more. My brain already filled in the blanks. Claire bent over the back seat of a car we couldn't afford, with Travis behind her, smug and victorious. Maybe it wasn't that exact image, but I knew what was happening. What had already happened. I didn't storm in. I didn't yell. I just turned around and walked out, hands shaking. I went straight to my car, my dying Mazda, and sat there, staring at the steering wheel. My wife, the woman who mocked reality shows about infidelity, was getting railed in a dealership while I negotiated the down payment. And the worst part? She didn't even bother to lie about where she was. When she finally texted back, it was nearly 30 minutes later. Hey babe, checking out another model with Travis. Be there soon. No period. No emoji. Just casual, distant, cold. I didn't reply. I drove home. That night, she came back with a folder full of car brochures and a bottle of wine. She acted like nothing happened. Told me about how helpful Travis was. How he let her test drive a new model on her own. How she could really see us in it. I nodded. Said nothing. Just took a sip of wine, tasted metal. And started planning my own little deal behind her back. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling while Claire dozed off beside me, satisfied and glowing from her productive afternoon. I kept thinking about Travis's smug face, the sound of her laugh echoing through that damn garage. The lie she told with her wine glass in one hand and my trust in the other. The next morning, I left early under the excuse of grabbing bagels. Instead, I drove back to the dealership. I parked across the street and waited. Travis pulled in around 9:15, same blazer, same bounce in his step, same I've got someone's wife under my belt grin. I didn't confront him. I wasn't looking for a brawl. I was looking for certainty. So I hired a private investigator. I told myself it was overkill. But part of me needed to know if this was a one-time test drive or if Claire had been putting miles on the relationship for longer than I realized. The PI was discreet and thorough. He got back to me 4 days later with pictures. They weren't graphic, but they didn't need to be. Claire and Travis in his car, parked behind the dealership. Claire and Travis having lunch at a diner 2 towns over. Claire leaving his apartment on a Sunday morning, wearing the same dress from Saturday night. That last one broke me a little. I waited until Friday to confront her. Timing mattered. Fridays meant she was relaxed, her guard down. We were sitting on the porch, sipping wine again, because why not recycle her lies where they started? So, I said. Thinking more about the car? She nodded, a little too eagerly. Yeah. Travis says he can get us a great deal if we trade in soon. Travis says a lot of things, I said. She looked up. Her smile faltered, just slightly. I slid the manila envelope across the table. The one the PI had delivered. You might want to take a look before we talk numbers. Claire opened it. The moment her eyes landed on the first photo, her hand jerked back like it was scalded. She didn't speak right away. Just stared at the pictures. Page after page of evidence. Indisputable. Silent. Evan. I held up my hand. No. No speeches. You already said everything you needed to, just not with words. She bit her lip. For a second, I saw something like shame flicker behind her eyes. But it didn't stay. Instead, she went on the offensive. You were distant. Always busy. Obsessed with budgets and credit scores and... Stop, I said calmly. If you were unhappy, you had a choice. You could have told me. We could have ended things with some dignity. But instead, you let him crawl into our marriage like a parasite. She crossed her arms, but her voice cracked. I didn't plan it. No one ever does, I said. For a week after, we barely spoke. I stayed in the guest room. She cried a few times, asked for one more chance, but the thing about trust is once it breaks, you don't hear it shatter until it's already dust. And you can't rebuild with dust. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. Claire tried to fight it. She wanted the house. The car. Even the dog she barely walked. But I'd kept my receipts, literally and metaphorically. The PI's report sealed the custody of everything but her dignity. Travis? He got fired. Turns out the dealership wasn't thrilled to learn he'd been using the service garage for private demonstrations. One of the service techs had started recording after seeing too much. Karma comes quick when someone hits record. As for me? I'm doing better. I bought a car, finally. Not from that dealership. A different one, honest guy, no blazers, just cars. I drive it with the windows down and the radio up. Freedom sounds a lot like the wind in your ears and the peace of not checking your phone every 5 minutes to see where your wife is. Claire texted me once, a few months after the divorce was finalized. She said, I still miss us sometimes. I didn't reply. Some test drives aren't meant to end with a sale. Some just show you the direction you should have been heading all along.